Well, it's time to get a little more done with this. I thought I was going to tighten this. No. I'm going to tighten the flywheel and those bolts where I left off in the last video and whatnot. At least I think I am. And then I'm going to take this off and all the electrical components that come with it. And, well, start cleaning everything up. I mean, I know there's other wires that are corroded. This one, for example, that needs replaced. And just start going at it one wire at a time. This one's shot. And come back after that. I convinced myself pretty well that I think we did right on that pulley. I think the belt's at least on the same cog that it was before. So I don't think we could have got one tooth off following the procedure that I did. Unless my filthy dirt marks were wrong when you saw from tying these two parts back together. But I think we're good. I think there's a way I saw online, somebody else did. You can test it later where you hook a battery up and then you just move the motor back and forth and see when the spark pops. And then I can mark the flywheel past those 3 dots where the sticker used to be and line it up compared to what's on the case here. So anywho, I'd love to turn it over and check for spark, but that's pointless. I don't want to blow something else up if one of these wires is shorted or something. So I'm going to go through each one of them and clean up the connection points and replace all the wires that are necessary one at a time. So I'm not going to film all that because it's simply, you know, like I did over here. Cut a piece of wire to the right length, put on the right ends, waterproof it, and call it a day. So hopefully all this work is going to pay off and I don't find out that something else is shot to the point of failure, or that, who knows, one of these electrical components that you can't buy anymore is bad. Maybe the rotor and distributor cap is bad. We just won't know any of that, but I can't even test it until I get some of these wires replaced. This is going to be tricky, right? Well, let's get going. This is guaranteed to make me forget what I've done. I dropped one of the nuts through. Why don't they have threaded holes? Mercury, damn it. Anyway, these have nuts on the bottom and one fell into the abyss, which I have to fish out of there. I can't reach it with a magnet or anything, so that'll be fun. Anywho, I'm gonna have to take the carburetors off next, I think. These fuel lines are all shot, and I'm gonna forget what went where, I'm sure. And I'm gonna refuse to buy Mercury branded lines, and I'm gonna have to get 80, 11, 50 barbs so that I can in the future, if ever wanted to replace the lines. So who knows, let's price it. But I can't not do the carburetors while I'm in here and have access, so there's no point in fixing the electric stuff, which is now off, right? And testing it, because then you got to pull the whole thing back apart. It's like, no, just I'm going to take all the carbs off, all the fuel lines off, and clean all that stuff now in hopes that when I put it back together, if the electrical system works correctly, then the fuel's already taken care of. Then it's ready to try to start. So hopefully once that happens, we'll be getting real close. See what happens. Well, I'm beginning to think more and more this might be a basket case. I haven't given up, but there's all the carbs. Every one of these lines is shot, for one. This thing was brittle and broke. And I noticed when the float fell out, it's cracked. So I don't even know, but even if these parts are available, the cost is adding up. The cost is adding up. The wiring harness itself, the parts I couldn't make, were kind of spendy. So considering the fact that you can get a running boat for, you know, $1,500 for an older functional boat at least, you know, when you start to get to spending $500 to fix an old motor like this to get it to run, it starts to become a little crazy. But in the interest of fun, I guess I'm gonna keep going. But I need to price those parts, that linkage, that. Every one of these fuel lines is a specialty Mercury part, I'm sure, which I don't want to do again, so I wanted to just get barbed fittings and cut my own fuel lines and use clamps. But look at all the rest of this nonsense. There's these tubes, every one of them is shot and rotten. Those all got to get replaced. They must be crankcase ventilation, something. And I don't even know where they all went. There's some that are just missing. Like, where did this fella go? Connects to here, a T-fitting. Or I don't know where that went. So, yeah. And that one goes into there and goes over to here and goes to this. I don't even know if that's supposed to be like that. I don't know, but shoot, there's 6 or 7 fuel lines. The stupid gaskets, of course, tore despite my best effort. And all the gaskets on these tore. This would be easy if you had the carbs cleaned, which I think was their intent. They made this so that if you took off this piece, all 3 of these together, that would be the easier way to do it. If the fuel lines are flexible still and cooperating, then you could leave the carburetors in place, installed, all synced and timed, and just remove these 3 parts for cleaning out the bowls, etc. So, I didn't even look. All those are out. That bottom hole, does that go right through? Is that a drain that they just didn't put the screw back in on these 2? I didn't even look. Well, now I broke it more than broke. Surely not, right? It looks like that would be a drain screw, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure that plastic is not supposed to be that brittle either, so I would imagine this one, even though it's not broken, would need to be replaced or it'll snap the very first time you try to use it by Murphy's Law. So that's where we're at. I'm questioning my sanity again and thinking that the smart move might be just start parting this thing out on eBay. Even if you rebuilt the carburetors and sold them complete, that would more than pay for the project. I don't have a boat for this to go on. It does not have power trim and tilt for this one. And it's like every used boat you find out there online that's local is for smaller motors than this. You can't find a fishing boat. And that's assuming I can make all of the controls work also. It does have power choke and whatnot, but it does not have trim and tilt on this particular motor. So this might be an exercise in futility, or continue to be an exercise in futility. We shall see. But I'll keep poking along and keep digging until we can't. Let me see how much those parts cost. And then see what's next. Oh, the insanity. So, here we go. What have I done? Assuming that the electric system's going to come back to life on this motor when I get rid of all the broken insulated wires, and you saw me work on the stator ring already and get wires soldered back onto it. Well, we broke the linkage getting it off because it's just brittle, and I saw somebody do a repair where you stick a piece of fuel line in there just to take up the space, and then use a marine grade shrink tubing on top of it. And I actually think that would work, and I may do it, but well, I worried that the rest of the plastic was probably brittle, so it would just break in the next spot. So anyway, I went ahead and ordered two of these aftermarket ones that look like they're a lot stronger. I don't know if they're 3D printed or what, but anyway, I don't remember what they were. I think they were about 12 bucks a piece, something like that. So this is already a fail because I will not be able, I don't think, to sell this motor for what it took for me to put into it. I could be surprised, but well, we've dug in now, and now it's just a hobby. Most people don't have paying hobbies, so every once in a while you have to accept that one of these is not going to result in a financial win, but well, you get to have the fun of fixing it. Moving on, what else? Got aftermarket floats replacements from Sierra because these were cracked. 2 out of 3 are cracked, and I just like, why do all this work and then find out that that might not work? Maybe that would work, maybe it's fine, but it just seems to me that whatever foam is in here will get saturated with fuel and won't float like it's supposed to. So another $12 a piece. Well, the one place I saved money, I think I talked about it, but maybe I didn't know. These all these special Mercury lines. Well, there's like 11,000 of them for this. It's unbelievable. These two, I think there's at least 3 more on the motor itself for going from the fuel pump various places, and there's no way. It'd be cost prohibitive. Again, the motor would just be, forget about it. The gasket set's not here. I did tear up the gaskets getting this off, unfortunately. Those aren't here yet, so I can at least go through and do everything else. I guess that's about all I know. But what I was going to say about the fuel lines is these are specially made Mercury lines, but at the same time they just thread on with 1/8 inch NPT pipe threads. Right? So my idea was, got online and I found these hose barbs, 1/4 inch inside diameter, and you can get these for, I forgot, I want to say somewhere between 50 cents and $1 a piece. Let's say $1, fine. So instead of $35 for each tube times, I think there's 6 fuel lines needed, something like that, it's going to be like $3, no, $4 each, because I had to order stainless steel hose clamps too, which I didn't have of the appropriate size. So I got enough barbs, and I bought a 25-foot spool of 1/4 inch inside diameter fuel line over there. So it's, yeah, let's round up and say $1 a foot. That's why I said the 2 ends, $2, the line, $3, a couple hose clamps, $4, $4 or $5 a line instead of $35 a line, and then they're replaceable. There's no magical reason that these need to be special Mercury lines, at least not that I can figure out, and this way they'll be replaceable in the future a lot easier. You don't have to unscrew the fittings anymore. I assume they did it when they made it to eliminate the possibility of air or fuel leaks from any of those points, but well, I'm replacing everything new. I checked it. This is a pretty good pressure fit into that 1/4 inch line, and with a good hose clamp and new lines, I'm confident that's not going to leak. And like I said, it's either you spend $1,000 to fix a $500 motor, or you try to save where you can. So that's where we're at. I guess I'll get these all cleaned up, taken apart, and go from there and put them back on the shelf and wait for the gaskets to get here. Like I said, I hate to do all this before I've had a chance to test the electrical system, but I guess my other thoughts are is, even if this is a complete and total failure, electrically speaking, I should be able to sell rebuilt carburetors with new filters and new lines on eBay, no problem, and recoup some of my money from that. So if I have to part this thing out, I'll come out even and have hopefully some good YouTube videos that you enjoyed about it. But I still have high hopes that this will come back to life, and I simply need to get the whole fuel system and the whole electrical system revamped. We'll see. That was a giant pain in the pickle. But I am ready to manufacture fuel lines. There's the dead floats. I don't have anything back together. Everything's loose because I don't have those gaskets yet. But they've all been disassembled, sterilized. I didn't film that because you've seen a million carburetors taken apart and cleaned. These were, I mean, absolutely nothing unique about them. I think I will take that guy's advice and I mean, I think it's strong enough. I tweaked on the other one. I'm gonna do the same thing he did, which was, if that's over here like, you know, right where this broke, right? You go like that, you cut a piece of fuel line. It's about the same diameter as that inside piece, so everything fits together like it should. Stick a big piece of marine shrink tubing on there and shrink it, and I think that would be pretty solid. I may rough up the plastic to ensure that it's gonna work, but I think that's actually a reasonable fix. And then to save some bucks, go ahead and send these back. That's what we're trying to do. There's all the carnage. I mean, I just saved a couple gaskets for reference in case I need to, but yeah, we'll see. When those gaskets get here and I reassemble the carbs and they're done, I'll manufacture that length of hose pieces. And then I guess we're pretty much ready to install those. There's more air or fuel lines involved while one has access. I need to clean these old gaskets off too, so I'm ready. But all these are brittle and ought to get replaced while I'm back in there and I have room to deal with it. So the saga continues. Yep, this is happening. Oh. Yep. Try to drink it all in, because this nonsense is happening. Oh yeah. That's the stuff. Look. Yeah. Yeah. I'll be dipped. I kind of had some severe doubts about it, but that seems like that's going to be pretty dang strong. Being honest. Huh. Yeah. 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 Get out of town. Let's stretch him down that way some. But that's got hot glue in there. Once that glue sets up, I bet you that's plenty strong. If not, well, we'll use the store-bought ones, but I'll be dipped. I think that'll work. Yeah, look at, it's quite strong. Yeah, it has as much strength as that has. It's gonna work. I wish I could remember the guy's name that came up with the idea, but yeah, sticking the correct diameter hose in there was a genius move on his part. And the marine shrink tubing, I cleaned these parts with carb cleaner also after kerosene, so there's no oil on them. So I don't know. I think though just the act of pinching around those shapes will hold it with enough force. But I mean, it's strong. I don't have much doubt that that will indeed turn the throttle inside there. I can at least return one probably, but we'll see. I think the smart move would be, rather than return the parts now, hang on to them and wait and see. And then if there's no problems with these, then just resell the other ones as, you know, spare parts I never had to use for the same price you can get them for online type thing. I don't know. On the other hand, maybe I should just return them now, and if I break these, well, then I gotta order new ones. So I guess it's 6 of one, half dozen of another, but if I want to recoup the last little few dollars out of the idea, I probably should return them now. Anywho, tracking says the gaskets are here, so I guess I don't think I'm going to do it on camera because this isn't that exciting, but I'll cut fuel line pieces to replace those pieces I showed you on the motor case over there, and manufacture fuel lines of the right length. And well, we'll see. Maybe I'll show you the assembly of all those bits and pieces and put them on. And anyhow, then when the fuel system's done and goes back on, then I can fart around with the electric system. All right, thanks for watching.